As I look at the flags above, I soon begin to think about the food possibilities from the different countries and different traditions, from Asian, Greek, American, African, and the list goes on to on. As soon as I think about that, chefs walk in. I see my first chef, she's my victim, and I will interview her. What made you want to become a cook?
Well, I'm not trying to be a cook. I'm just adding to my further education. I want to eventually become a research and development application chef.
Okay, and what do they usually do? Research application chefs do.
Typically, they work for a large food industry company, let's say like Clean Cuisine,
Okay.
frozen meals, and what they do is they figure out, well, we're trying to make a, let's say, a chicken fajita dinner, but it needs to learn how to be frozen. You have to have proportions. It needs to have a long shelf life. It can last 2 years, and then when you cook it, it still tastes as good as when you do it fresh.
What made you want to become a cook?
Really, no one has really inspired me to cook. I kind of had to learn on it my own in college, where the college campus food was pretty bad, and I realized I didn't want to eat that every day, and I had to learn with a little hot plate on my stove and a little toaster oven, and I got into that. And then, no, just started work in my profession in the food industry. I learned more different divisions of it, and wanted to learn more, so that's why I'm doing this.
Okay, so how long have you actually been in school?
On and off. Well, I already have a 4-year bachelor's degree, and I've been doing these type of culinary classes off and on for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. So I condense it. It's like a good solid year and a half straight of classes.
What is the name of the book you're actually looking at right now?
Professional cooking.
Professional Cooking by Wayne Gislin.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay, you guys been studying that all semester, or is that just?
Yeah, they talk about chapters on cooking methods, techniques, sauces, soups. There's a chapter just on potatoes alone. Eggs, breakfast. So it talks about techniques, talks about the ingredients, it talks about the finished product.
Okay. Do you have a preference of cooking type of style that you like to cook? Are you more American, Italian, overseas, Middle Eastern?
I think it would just be sort of a classic kind of fusion aspect. So I'll do something that has like curry sauce, but it'll be in a finished sauce to a beef bourguignon, kind of mixed with French and whatever. So usually also referred to as the chop episode of Food Network. Whatever you have in the kitchen, make it work, and that's about it.
Do you have a favorite dish that you make daily or during the week that you always love to get a taste for or anything like that?
Normally I make breakfast on the weekend, so I normally do a veggie, potato, and bacon hash with poached eggs. That's usually my fiance's favorite. So when the first thing I wake up in the morning, he's giving me a coffee. He's like, "So you're gonna get on that hash to make me this morning?" And I'm like, "Fine," but it's something that's always a go-to kind of dish.
Okay. So where do you see yourself after St. Louis Community College?
Well, I still work full time, so this will just add to my resume and add to my field. So when the position comes up in a more culinary team, or helping with meal presentations for customers, or doing expos and you're presenting dishes, they'll start considering me more and learn through that realm. Perfect meal, I think it really what happens to all your senses. You can smell it before it gets to the table, and when you see it and you hear the sounds of it, or if it's crackling and more, when you see it, it's vivid greens and browns, and there's cool placement, and nothing's all kind of like plopped all together. And then when you eat it, you experience a lot different flavors, or it reminds you of something your mom and when you're a kid, and exactly the same type of flavors, or you're just really, it satisfies that hunger inside of you. And then afterwards, you probably are not feeling very guilt-ridden, so you don't feel like you feel bad eating a whole thing of McDonald's and you feel greasy and fat and bloated. It kind of leaves you like satisfied and happy, and you can keep going on with your day.
Okay. When it comes to cooking, I think my overall view for chefs are that it really depends on what type of chef you're trying to be, whether that be a research and development chef or just a regular restaurant chef. If you really are in love with cooking and you really want to have it as a passion, you work every day in the kitchen, all day in the kitchen, and you work towards a goal to become your own restaurant chef and possibly one of the greatest of all time. What I consider a good chef is a person who doesn't care about the awards or the titles they hold, only the ones who really care about their food and their product that they put in front of people and how hard they have worked to make a person happy about the meal they ate. Some chefs just want their privacy and they're still becoming great, so let's let them.